This is Reed Summers. This is his dad, Marshal Summers. Now they're gonna share with you important information on our new visitors.
I was never an enthusiast of ufology or UFOs, but my spiritual work opened up this panorama for me 40 years ago.
Who is in our world and what are they doing?
Well, our visitors represent a non-military force, basically resource explorers. But resource explorers have big connections with larger nations abroad.
Remember, this is for entertainment purposes only.
They're here to build a presence and an influence over humanity that's very subtle, but very powerful. And they're doing this without the use of force. We're now facing a hidden presence that's very powerful, very subtle in its dealings, but having a lot of impact on the people that it engages directly, a lot of impact on our military installations, even our nuclear launch facilities. So they're definitely interested.
Did you hear that?
In power in the world.
Now make sure you listen carefully.
But the visitors in the world today are of a very different kind than were here, let's say, before World War II in the last hundreds of years.
Yes, that is correct, and it's very important to note that, because otherwise we think that they've been here the whole time, somehow playing a kind of serving us in the background. People like to assume that.
Now I don't know about you, but I'm getting out of here.
It makes them feel very good about their presence.
They're not researchers. These are not the spiritually enlightened coming to help us in our hour of need. These are commercial forces, as your
That's
work
right.
reveals.
And their primary interest is in the world itself. This is a very important point. They are not here for us. We'd like to think they are, we hope they are. They are not here for us. They're here for the world. This world is so valuable. When you think of the biological diversity and wealth of this world, habitability of this world, I mean, they need us because they can't live in the world. So we are important to them because they would need us to help them have dominion over this planet.
Well, what we gonna do now?
They don't treat us as equals. And behavior demonstrates intent. We have been able to catalog their behavior for 80 years.
Check out Marshal Summers over on YouTube for the full video.
Not totally, they're totally their behavior, but how they operate on Earth, how they respond to human reactions, how they respond to human beings, how they use human beings.
So here you're talking about the history of ufology,
Yes,
research into alien abduction,
yes,
animal mutilation, all of the phenomena associated.
that's right. And they have a big investment in being here because the world is so valuable. It's not we who are so valuable. I mean, you can imagine if they're a highly unified race, I don't mean they're a free race, but I mean they're highly united. They think in a group mind fashion. They're not a bunch of free-floating individuals, free-willing individuals in space. They must look at our world as being very chaotic.
I don't know about you, but do we have hope?
And also, we've been broadcasting all of our violence, all of our degradation, all of our weaknesses out into space for over 100 years.
It seems to be that studying us is one of their primary activities.
Yes.
They have been analyzing every aspect of human physiology, psychology, culture, religion, everything.
We're just being used for experiments, basically, like lab animals.
Contact is occurring in a way that it wasn't in more ancient times or over 80 years ago. So we're making contact with a different kind of extraterrestrial force with a different kind of agenda. And the arrival of this force was triggered by the advent of nuclear weapons, the degradation of our environment, the Great World Wars, which threaten the very planet that they're seeking, and us as a viable workforce.
Dude, I tell you, dude.
And so this is, in a sense, first contact with a colonizing force. And would you say that colonization is really their aim?
Yes. Why would they spend 80 years investing themselves in building a presence here if it wasn't for some kind of goal like that? I mean, if they were just visitors, they just visit and that would be it. But they're implanting themselves in our world out of our view. And we as human beings, we're so consumed with the difficulty of our own lives, with difficulties and struggles between nations, the challenge to our existence for many different things. We're very preoccupied. Very few people look up in the skies very often, so if something passes over, well, maybe a few people see it.
People start keeping your eyes in the sky.
200 people see it. But does everyone see it? No. We're not paying attention to our skies.
Go check Marshal Summers out on YouTube. and give Yorkshire UFO Hunter a follow.